How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. There are some massive changes that start tomorrow for crypto. Actually, this has been well documented. We've known for over a year that a massive change is coming on December 15th. We also have some other really big catalysts coming here in the next month, some really big pieces of news. Even this week, we have something that is going to be what everyone in the market's watching. So I want to go through those. I also want to give you a couple different tools that I'm going to be using throughout this bull run to look at taking profits and then also to help trade. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. Also, I do want to just hit on these real quick. If you don't want to hear about two things I'm using, that's fine. You can skip a little bit further into the video, but one thing that I am doing is leverage trading, right? You can make really fast returns on this. Obviously, it can be very dangerous, but we've been able to make hundreds and hundreds of % extra return on a lot of trades because of using leverage. Now, one of the websites I'm using, CoinW. I have something cool, though, today that I wanted to bring up to you. They have worked with me to get me my own private trading group where you can join, and they have professional traders in there. Right, I don't talk about my trades, my leverage trades too much. Like I don't have, even my Patreon, I've said I'm not going to be talking about trades on there because it's too time sensitive. Here they have people literally scalping every single day. So this is not me. This is actually a professional trader here, my trading friend. And then they have swing trade signals, scalp trading signals. So like short term, medium term. They look at market analysis and have different videos on here. They also have support in case you have questions. It's really easy to get started. So all you have to do, there are a couple links underneath the video, one to CoinW and then one to this trading group. So you can click on the one to the trading group. It'll tell you the link to go get an account set up on CoinW. You'll basically set up an account. I think you have to have $20 in your futures account. And then you'll just go over here, click on your UID, and then go post it in the trading group. You'll verify it. So you'll just, actually, I can just show you. On the page that you'll be looking at, you'll just type in -verify and then space and then post your UID. It's all very clear in there, but then you'll be able to get verified and join this group. There are hundreds of people in it already. And I think this can be really helpful because, again, I don't have time to talk about trades all day, but these are literally professional traders. They're non-emotional. They literally just try to look at the charts, figure out what makes sense, look at the sentiment, figure out what makes sense, look at the news, figure out what makes sense, depending on the trade. So definitely check that out underneath the video in case you're interested. Of course, there's risk, but that's why they're professional traders in there. They can give you some of the risk parameters and walk you through it, talk about position sizing and all that kind of stuff. You can trade and earn up to 55 Solana as well. So you get the trading group. You can also get in on this 55 Solana for free. Just check out the link underneath the video as well. The other thing is we're getting further into the bull market and I'm using Into the Cryptoverse. There's a link to underneath the video with a 10% off code to look at dollar cost averaging out of the market for altcoins specifically, but also looking at Bitcoin. They have all different kinds of indicators from social sentiment to on-chain risk to historical risk levels, pi cycle top indicators. This is what I'll be using to figure out when to dollar cost average out of the market. And it breaks down to even specific cryptos, right? They can give you like XRPs, key risk metrics, fiat risk metrics, BTC risk metrics. They can show you how overheated it is compared to where it's been in the past, historical time and risk bands. This is what I'm going to be using to look at more of the long term of when I'm getting out of this market, when I'm dollar cost averaging out of the market, because a lot of people don't want to do that and a lot of people get stuck bag holding. So this is going to be my non-emotional approach to selling during the bull market. Now, enough about that, but I thought that was important because there are tools that can really help you. Let's start here. We had another massive day of inflows, $430 million going into the Bitcoin ETFs yesterday. That's after 600 million, 223, 440, 480 million earlier in the week. So overall, we had about another 2 billion flow into the ETFs. Okay, massive catalyst there that's been pretty much working all year long. There's another big catalyst that was just announced yesterday. We won't spend much time on it because I made a video on it already, but MSTR is going to join the NASDAQ 100. This means that millions, actually, I think over 100 million, I saw it estimated around 200 million, people have access or have exposure to the NASDAQ 100. So all those people that talk about how much they hate Bitcoin, well, unless they go out of their way to buy the other 99 different companies in the NASDAQ 100, they're going to have exposure to Bitcoin whether they like it or not. Maybe they start liking a little bit more when it's working for them. So that's going to be big. They're going to get rebalanced on the 23rd, so a couple days before Christmas. This will shoot up. This will make MSTR very volatile, I think, over the next couple weeks. It'll be really interesting to watch. Keep in mind, like with all this happening, we have nation states, Wall Street, ETFs, all making this a very solid 2024 run. Comparing this to FTX and lending and Ponzi schemes and all this kind of stuff, where we hit an all-time high in 2021, but it was just like a bunch of FOMO money. This is institutional money. This is BlackRock saying you should have 2% allocated to Bitcoin. This is Eric Trump, right, talking about how he thinks his dad's going to push Bitcoin to $1 million, that nations are going to be buying, nations already are buying, all this kind of stuff. Now, we have a big change tomorrow. FASB has officially adopted fair value accounting for Bitcoin for fiscal years beginning in December or after December 15, 2024. This upgrade to accounting standards will facilitate the adoption of Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset by corporations worldwide. Keep in mind, we've already seen a lot of corporations start to add Bitcoin to their balance sheet, but it's much easier for these pristine balance sheets to add Bitcoin once they can show the gains every single quarter along with the losses. Before this, they've just had to show, if you buy Bitcoin for 100,000, then it goes down to 30,000. You have to show that as a loss. And then if it goes right back up to 100,000, 500,000, a million, you can't show that as a profit until you sell it, which most people don't want to do. So yeah, this changes the accounting rules. And this is one big change that I think shows where crypto is moving, right? It's not being ragged on anymore by a lot of the big entities out there. It's not being, I'd say, unfairly treated. It's actually making sense how they're approaching things, how the governments are approaching things, how documentation, accounting all works. There's massive adoption and people want in on it. So they're making it a little bit easier for the companies that do want in on it as well. I mean, it makes sense, right? If you're BlackRock, if you're Fidelity, if you are some big exchange like Coinbase, if you are someone that's going to make money from Bitcoin, you want to make it easier now, right? If you're a custody service, you want these kinds of fair value accounting. So that way you get more clients that add more Bitcoin to their balance sheet and you help them with that, and then you get paid for it. So that happens tomorrow. What happens later this week? Jerome Powell talks. We have the Fed rate decision. So most likely a 25 basis point cut. Keep in mind, Jerome Powell just said Bitcoin is like gold. It's competition for gold, not the dollar. So everyone's going to be watching Jerome Powell speak, talking about the economy, talking about jobs and inflation, obviously, to try to determine, how overheated is the market? Is there cause for concern? Be ready for volatility. I believe that's Wednesday. Be ready for volatility that day. We also have, the future strategic Bitcoin reserve. Just this week, Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump, says, I am confident that Bitcoin is going to hit $1 million during my dad's term. So yeah, there are people that are extremely bullish that think we're definitely going to get this reserve here, and people will try to front run it. Companies are trying to front run it and all that. So there will be a lot of volatility. Be ready for anything. These are just a handful of the catalysts that are happening. Keep in mind, Bitcoin is going mainstream. Everyone is going to be forced to buy Bitcoin, whether they like it or not, unless they just want to go out of their way to rebalance the other 99 companies every single quarter, to go buy and spend all this time trying to get around having to buy MSTR. As MSTR gets bigger, they're going to keep on buying more and more Bitcoin. Now they have an endless faucet of money dripping into their company. So this is quite exciting. And it shows you, again, how things have changed. 4 years ago, 3 years ago, MSTR wasn't going to be included in the NASDAQ 100. They weren't big enough. People didn't think highly of them. Now they're the hottest trade on Wall Street. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. I think once you realize that everyone gains from Bitcoin going up, I'd say with the exception of a few people that are very anti-Bitcoin, that have businesses that will be thrown off by Bitcoin. But after you realize that almost everyone benefits and very few people benefit from it going down, you realize that there's going to be, I think, better regulation behind it, behind how countries approach Bitcoin and crypto. You also realize people are going to keep on adopting it. You also realize some of the benefits of crypto, right? Like some of the benefits of Bitcoin, we just need these days. There's endless money printing, endless debasement, greed everywhere, and yeah, a massive amount of debt. So I think we are bound to continue to see Bitcoin rise up. Of course, though, there will be a point where Bitcoin might be a little bit overvalued, or maybe Bitcoin's not overvalued, but your alts are overvalued and they might take a 50, 60, 70% dip. So if you want to monitor how overvalued they are, you can check out Into the Cryptoverse. Again, there's a 10% off code underneath the video. I think now is a great time to sign up for it because $10, let's say you have a portfolio worth $10,000. Your portfolio might be worth $50,000 in a couple months. Do you want to spend $10, $20, $30 a month, $100, whatever it is? I think that's money well spent to make sure that you get out alive during this bull market. Of course, you can also check out the link to CoinW underneath the video. You can trade and earn up to 55 Solana as well. So you get the trading group. You can also get in on this 55 Solana for free. Just check out the link underneath the video as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one.